What would you do if the most powerful king in the world wanted you dead? One baby, one river, one impossible choice that changed the history of the world. Thousands of years ago in the land of Egypt, one of the most powerful kingdoms the world had ever seen, something wonderful and terrible was happening at the same time. The Israelites, the children of Abraham, Isaac and Jacob, had been slaves in Egypt for 400 years. They worked from sunrise to sunset every single day, building cities for a king who did not care about them at all. But God had not forgotten them, not for one single day. And he was about to send someone extraordinary, a man who would go from a river basket to the halls of a palace, to the very mouth of a volcano, to the edge of a sea that no army could cross. This is the story of Moses. A new Pharaoh had risen to power in Egypt, one who did not remember the great things Joseph, an Israelite, had once done for the nation. All he saw was a problem. So Pharaoh made the Israelites' lives even more miserable. They carried heavier loads, they worked longer hours, but the harder the Egyptians pushed, the more the Israelite families grew. God was with them, even in their suffering. When Pharaoh saw that his plan wasn't working, he made a decision so evil it's hard to even say out loud.
There are too many Israelites in my kingdom. They grow stronger every year.
What does Pharaoh command?
Every Israelite baby boy that is born, throw him into the Nile.
In one small home, a woman named Jochebed had just given birth to a beautiful baby boy. When she looked at his tiny face, she made a decision.
Look at him, Imran. Just look at him. God made this child, and I will not let them have
Have to be careful. The soldiers check the homes.
And we will be careful. As long as I am breathing, I will protect him.
For 3 months, Jochebed hid her baby son. She sang to him when he cried so the soldiers wouldn't hear. She shielded him with her own body. She prayed over him every single night. But babies grow. And one day, Jochebed knew she couldn't hide him much longer, so she prayed for wisdom. And God gave her an idea that only a mother and only God could come up with together. Jochebed gathered papyrus reeds, the tall, thick grasses that grew along the Nile. With her own hands, she wove them into a little basket. Then she sealed every crack with tar so not a drop of water could get in. She was making something extraordinary, a tiny ark, a floating cradle, and she was trusting God to steer it.
Mama, what if the basket sinks?
I've sealed it well. It won't sink.
What if a crocodile?
The same God who made the Nile, he can protect one little basket. Do you believe?
This was the hardest thing Jochebed had ever done. Not because she didn't love her son, but because she loved him so much that she trusted God with him.
God of Abraham, God of Isaac, God of Jacob, he is yours. He has always been yours. Please, keep him.
What is that? There, in the reed. Fetch it for me.
Oh,
This is one of the Israelite children.
my lady, your father's command.
I know what my father commanded. I'm keeping him.
And right at that moment, as if she had been waiting just around the corner, young Miriam stepped forward.
Shall I go and find an Israelite woman to nurse the baby for you?
Yes, go.
God gave Moses back to his own mother, to hold, to raise, to love, and paid her to do it. Only God could write a story like that. When Moses was old enough, Jochebed brought him to the palace, as she had promised, and from that day forward, Moses grew up as a prince of Egypt. But his mother had made sure he knew where he truly came from. Moses grew up inside the palace. He was educated in all the wisdom of Egypt. He was strong, capable, and respected. But no matter how much gold surrounded him, he could never forget the people outside those walls.
Stop! Stop! Mind your business, Prince!
Pharaoh heard what had happened and ordered Moses killed, so Moses did the only thing he could do. He ran. Moses walked until he couldn't walk anymore. He ended up in a land called Midian, far from Egypt, far from everything he'd known. But even there, God was watching over him. The girl's father, Jethro, invited Moses to stay, and Moses, a man who had lost his palace, his power, and his purpose, said yes. He married Zipporah, had a son, and became a shepherd, from Prince of Egypt to a shepherd in the desert. But God was not done with Moses, not even close. Moses was 80 years old. He thought his great days were behind him. He was just a shepherd on a quiet mountain on an ordinary afternoon, and then everything changed.
Moses! Moses! Here I am!
Do not come any closer. Take off your sandals. The place where you are standing is holy ground.
I am sending you to Pharaoh. Bring my people out of Egypt.
Me? Who am I to lead your people out of Egypt?
But what if they ask me your name? What do I tell them? Tell them I am has sent you. But they won't believe me. My words get all twisted. Who made your mouth, Moses? Is it not I? Now go. I will be with your words.
God didn't choose Moses because Moses was perfect. He chose Moses because God himself was going with him, and that made all the difference.
The journey continues.
Moses and his brother Aaron walked into the most powerful throne room in the world, and they brought a message from someone even more powerful.
Pharaoh, the God of Israel says this: "Let my people go,
so that they may worship me in the desert."
The God of Israel. I don't know any God of Israel, and I will not let your people go.
And then God began to move. 9 times God sent his signs, plague after plague, and 9 times Pharaoh hardened his heart and said no. Each time Moses and Aaron went back. Each time God was faithful. Each time the people of Israel were protected. God was showing Egypt and the whole world that he alone is God. God told Moses that one final sign was coming, the most serious of all, and he gave his people a way to be protected. They would sacrifice a perfect lamb and paint its blood on their doorframes. When God's angel passed through Egypt that night, that blood would be a sign. When I see the blood, I will pass over you.
Tonight, children, God is keeping his promise. Tonight, we go free.
After 400 years of slavery, just like that, it was over. That night, over 2 million Israelites walked out of Egypt, free. For the first time in their lives, they were free. Pharaoh had changed his mind. He looked at his empty kingdom and thought, "What have I done? I've lost all my workers." So he gathered his best soldiers, his fastest chariots, and he came after them. All night, God held back the army with a wall of cloud and fire, and then he told Moses what to do next. And the people of Israel walked through, on dry ground, with walls of water on their right hand and on their left. They sang. 2 million people, who had been slaves their whole lives, singing freely for the first time. And at the front of the women, dancing with her tambourine, was Miriam, the same little girl who had once hidden in the reeds, watching over a tiny basket, and had trusted God with her brother's life. Moses had started as a baby in a basket, helpless, hidden, at the mercy of a river, and God had carried him every step of the way. Not because Moses was perfect, not because he never made mistakes, but because God had a plan, and God keeps his promises. So what can we learn from Moses today? Friends, I want to share 3 things with you. Lesson 1, God sees you. When Jochebed placed her baby in that basket, it looked like she was alone, but she wasn't. God saw every tear she cried, and God sees you too, in every hard moment, every scary night, every time it feels like nobody knows what you're going through. He knows, he cares, and he is already working on your answer. Lesson 2, God uses the unlikely. Moses had failed. He was a fugitive, a shepherd with a stutter hiding in the desert. He didn't feel qualified, but God didn't call Moses because Moses was the best. God called Moses because God is the best, and he is the same God who calls you. You don't have to be perfect, you just have to say, "Here I am, Lord." Lesson 3, God makes a way. When the Israelites stood at the Red Sea, sea in front, army behind, there was absolutely no human solution, and that is exactly where God does his greatest work. Whatever impossible situation you're facing today, a sea that won't part, an army that won't stop, God specializes in making a way where there is no way. Trust him. Moses went from a basket to a palace to a desert, from a desert to a burning bush, from a burning bush to a parted sea. Every single step, God was writing his story, and friend, he is writing yours too. Wow, what a story. Friends, here is my question for you today, and I want you to answer it in the comments below. If you were standing at the edge of the Red Sea with the army behind you, what would you do? Would you trust God and stand still, or would you panic? Be honest. Tell me in the comments. I read every single one.